barbershop conversation, guys. Feel free, hit the subscribe button. September 28th, don't forget. Alright, we got a great event coming, 100 Black Men Strong. We're going to build the community. We're going to have a great time. And I look forward to meeting all y'all people that's DMing me, messaging me, ask me if I need anything. Nah, I just want y'all there. Bring as many people as you can. We should have enough food for everybody, and the food truck is there, so got a great time. So let's talk about this really quick. I coincidentally, I did a video yesterday, and I got maybe 3 messages, and someone called me on it yesterday, and we had a conversation about I said Shawn Porter shouldn't listen to Kenny Porter. He should be more like Barry Sanders and not Emmitt Smith. I wasn't attacking Kenny Porter, nor was I saying Kenny Porter shouldn't coach him. What I was simply saying is Shawn needs to trust his instincts in the ring and make those split-second adjustments. You say how, why, and where. I was watching the fight camp, and Shawn Porter proved me right. Shawn Porter said, you gave me mixed signals. You told me to do this. I don't remember the quote. You told me to do this. You told me to do that. And Kenny's response was, exactly. That's how it changes, just like that. And my point was, you can't coach an athlete just like that. For one, it's physically impossible because you can't get the words out because you missed the moment, right? And two, Shawn Porter has to be prepared for it, so when he sees it, it happens. It's like a pitcher. The ball spins differently if it's a curveball or if it's a fastball. You gotta have a trained eye to see what pitch is coming. You know, there are so many great athletes that I can speak of. I grew up a Giants fan, right? And Randall Cunningham was really the only quarterback I feared. I didn't fear Danny White. I didn't fear Mark Ripken. I didn't fear whoever the case may be. I didn't fear them. I feared Randall Cunningham. And one of the greatest plays Randall Cunningham ever made was on Monday Night Football against the against the Eagles against the Giants, when Carl Banks had the sack. Randall Cunningham stumbles, falls, gets up, and they score a touchdown, right? Randy Moss told Dante Culpepper, just throw it up, dog. If I put my hand up, that means throw it up. And a lot of times, 30% of them, I heard it in interviews, Randy Moss would change the route mid-route. Coaches didn't get mad. That was a game time adjustment. If he felt he was biting, Dante Culpepper would just throw it up. He would change the route mid-route, throw a bomb, and they get a touchdown. Y'all remember how he destroyed the Cowboys? What he had 200 yards in the first half. Remember that game? 3 touchdowns or some shit. Y'all remember that. But that was just a microcosm of who he was. And you hear so many times about how great players just trust their instincts. You know? Kobe Bryant in Game 7 against the Boston Celtics had to get 17 rebounds. And I believe he actually passed the ball to Ron Artest, who made the game-sealing 3. You understand? Michael Jordan passes the ball to John Paxson. Those are instincts. Michael Jordan could have took the shot. He has every right to take the shot. Michael Jordan leaves. In order for Michael Jordan to hit that Game 6 shot against Byron Russell, in that Game 6, or Michael Jordan hits the game winner and walks off, right? He steals the ball from Karl Malone. How he steals the ball from Karl Malone is he trusts his instincts, leaves his opponent, but he knows after Karl Malone face up, he's going to back you down. And he came from the baseline side, stole the ball. Why? Because he did his preparation in camp. You understand? I wouldn't consider myself a high-level athlete in the physical sense. In the mental sense, I'm an A+ I'm an A+ level athlete in my brain. Right? I can see it. I can't physically make the adjustments because God didn't make me a great athlete. He made me a good athlete, right? So I don't have the physical capabilities to actually do it, but I can see it, what happens, right? And I think that's where Shawn Porter can have some success against Earl Spence, when he trusts his instincts. But in order for him to trust his instincts, he have to know when Earl is throwing the curveball and when Earl is throwing the fastball. He can't depend on Kenny to tell him mid-round. I'm telling, man, this is deeper than the Nile. This shit is deeper than the Atlantic Ocean. I'm talking about in terms of intellect, in terms of Shawn Porter is a hybrid, right? If he was a football player, he would be a hybrid, right? He would be a third down back, maybe a third down corner. In college, he probably would be everything. You understand what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, he's a hybrid as a boxer, right? Some days he just wins, right? He has his way of winning, and he's been successful, 2-time world champion, right? And in order for him to beat Earl Spence, he has to be that. He has to be the hybrid. He can't just be a boxer. He can't just be the Porter pressure. He has to be a hybrid. And in order for him to be successful, he has to see the context clues when it happens, right? It's like when I'm doing an interview. Right? There's so many times I want to do an interview and I want to make it personal. So many times. And then I say, you know what? I'm not going to do it. Why? Because I'm reading their energy. And they're waiting for me to be confrontational. They're waiting on me to ask them the obvious question. And I don't. I allow them to lead themselves into it. Right? That's a part of being in-game situations. Shawn Porter is going to have to make in-game situations. And that's the bottom line. This ain't no slight. I was trying to be as honest as I can. And if you guys watch the Fight Club and watch my video from yesterday, when you guys get done watching the Fight Club this morning, because it came on late last night, I want you guys to go rewatch my video. You're going to be like, how the hell did Fred realize that he does have to be more like Barry Sanders? Stop. You don't have time to follow your blockers mid-round. Kenny Porter was giving him instructions, and Kenny Porter's response was, the moment was gone just like that. Shawn don't have time to listen to Kenny Porter. Earl Spence is really, really good. I mean, when I'm just being candidly honest, and I got a great video coming too, because I'm gonna do a follow-up with Deontay Wilder, and I had a conversation last night. Deontay Wilder said I used to be a hater of him, and how he internalizes it makes him great. But I was critical of Deontay Wilder in the beginning. I was critical of Earl Spence the same way. I told you, it's well chronicled that Derrick James he and I had a 90-minute conversation, and he was humble enough to have a conversation, because I mean, Derrick James has no reason to have a conversation with me, but I guess he respects my energy, and we had a 90-minute conversation. I had to get to the point where I can sit and say, this nigga is great. Deontay Wilder is great. I had to learn to appreciate their talents for who their talents are. Deontay Wilder is not an orthodox guy. And I had to get out of that mindset. Jab, right hand, left hook. Jab, right hand, left hook. Jab, right hand, left hook. Pivot, counter. Pivot, slip, counter. Throw the left hook. I had to get out of that mindset when I'm watching Deontay Wilder. 2, Earl Spence. I had to get out of the mindset that you can be Tim Duncan and be great. Remember, I'm watching the welterweight division, and I'm coming off of Zab Judah, Floyd Mayweather. Roy Jones is my favorite fighter. So I'm coming off the heels of that. So you understand where I'm coming from? Earl Spence is just a motherfucking beast when it comes to like being orthodox and being on steroids at the same. Excuse me, because y'all gonna take that out of context. But fundamentals on steroids is a term I use with L. You know what I mean? And y'all got me looking like I can't back up. I ain't gonna lie, I'm not the best person to back up. I don't back in shit, I'll be honest. But I had to learn, for real, I had to learn to appreciate how great these athletes are. Hold on, let me plug this shit in real quick. So, and that's what I'm saying. I don't know the X's and O's of everything. I don't coach fighters, but one of my greatest talents is understanding how to get to point A to point B. Sometimes I can't physically do it. I need help. I need friends, right? And Shawn Porter, in order for him to get to point A to point B, this is the best word that I can describe him to get if he wants to be in the victory. So he has to be a hybrid. He can't just be this boxer and I'm going out box. Man, Earl, man, I mean, naturally, just Earl Spence, Shawn Porter, there's naturally a advantage Earl Spence, disadvantage Shawn Porter, just naturally, just because of how God created him and in terms of tactical skill and aggression. You understand? And some may say I'm giving too much genius away. You know, but it's my analysis. It's how I break down fights. I don't just sit behind the jab. But before I get finish what I was saying, yeah, I was like, I had to learn to appreciate Deontay Wilder's greatness. You understand what I'm saying? Deontay Wilder is not ordinary. Deontay Wilder is Randall Cunningham at quarterback. Deontay Wilder is Michael Vick in the Sugar Bowl against Florida State. Y'all remember that game? He lost, but that was the most prolific display of athleticism that I have ever seen. Reggie Bush against Fresno State, 500 all-purpose yard. God made these motherfuckers special, and I had to learn to accept it. All right, that's just the truth. And then I look at Earl, who's the exact opposite. Not gonna say that's a hyperbole for this video. Okay, Earl Spence, who's the exact opposite of Deontay Wilder from a fundamental standpoint, right? But I'm looking at Earl Spence like, he's not flashy. He's not fly. You know what I mean? He doesn't hit the mitts like Floyd Mayweather. He doesn't have the cat-like instincts from a Zab Judah, from a Roy Jones. So, he's good, but he doesn't really pass the eye test. And then I watched him. I watched his tactical aggression. I love how he sets up his right foot. It is amazing. I mean, his base is amazing. He can throw any punch at any time because of his base. You guys understand? So I'm not sitting here telling you guys that I get it either initially. All right? I had to learn to accept shit because I have a trained brain over the years. And I just got to accept people for who they are. Like, some people don't like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, but he's the greatest basketball player from birth to career ending in the history of sports. He might be the greatest athlete in the history of sports. You know what I mean? But people don't like the sky hook. People hate it. There are so many old-time basketball players that hate Shaquille O'Neal and Kareem because they dunked the ball. Wilt Chamberlain. That's not how you play basketball. It's supposed to be about skill, not power. So we have to learn to adjust. And I am the first person to admit I had to learn to accept it. I had to take out my old ways. It's like me. I did a video years ago, or I don't know when, but a while ago, when I was talking about if you had asked me 20 years ago, do everybody need to go to college? I probably would have said yes. Right? 22, just got my degree. I'm feeling real good. I'm feeling accomplished. Everybody should go to college. Everyone should. Not really. College ain't really for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And get it how you live it. You know what I mean? I like that beat is popping in my head. And but I said all that to say, hopefully you guys get. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful to Kenny Porter, not one bit. The point I was making is Shawn Porter cannot go back to the corner in between rounds and say, you gave me mixed signals. You don't have time for that. You can't do it. Okay? Shawn has to know it and react. All right? And that's just it. In order for Shawn Porter to understand, Kenny Porter and Barry Hunter got to slow him down. Do you see the laces spinning this way on the curveball? Do you see the laces spinning this way on the fastball? Do you see his arm slot? Do you see him throwing the curveball, or do you see him coming over the top? You got to recognize, is it a four-seamer or a two-seamer? Is it a curveball or a changeup? You guys understand what I'm saying? And I don't have the answers to this. I'm not the person to train him to do it. I'm the person who sees it. All right? It's not by accident that I've only missed 3 fights in 3 years. It's not by accident. And picked the biggest upset in the history of sports since in boxing since Mike Tyson busted Douglas. I'm being real. It's not, this shit ain't by accident. This shit just doesn't happen. You know what I mean? I'm being real. So anyways, man, And I missed 4. I forgot about Keith Thurman, Manny Pacquiao. You know what I mean? So, but anyways, man, I just wanted to make this apparent. It wasn't a slight on Kenny Porter. I was making this a point that Shawn Porter has to be a hybrid. Okay? And if he's not going to be the hybrid and trust his instincts, and he's going to be thinking in the ring, Errol Spencer's going to beat the shit out of him. And I say that aggressively because it's about being who you are. It's not changing who you are, being who you are and having the ability to make adjustments with the skill set that you have. It's like me, for example. I just told this story to somebody. Baron Davis was the greatest basketball player I ever had to play against. It's about like really, literally play against. I played against a lot of pros in the summertime when I was in college, but that was just a one-timer. I competed against Baron Davis every summer, once a year in the St. Monica's tournament, and we went to Paul Pierce. We went to basketball tournaments together. You know, I knew in order for me to be successful against Baron Davis, I had 2 chances. I had 2 plays, and in order for me to get to those 2 plays, I had to press Baron Davis full court to full court and pray that he misses that 3-pointer late in the 3rd quarter, early in the 4th quarter, that gave me the advantage. I wasn't playing Baron Davis to rip him every possession. I was playing just to take that 0.5% off of his jump shot so we can beat them. I'm being real. All right, and that's all I could do. Baron Davis was physically imposed on, but I knew I had to guard him. It's nothing I can do when God says, "Hey, this guy is gonna be better than you." Period. This guy is going to be physical. I'm going to make this guy physically better than you. I'm going to put him in the oven longer than you. I'm taking you out a little bit early, Fred. All right. Baron Davis, he's going to the NBA. You're going to go get a college degree. You guys get what I'm saying? And the beauty in truth is accepting it. Right? Now I can get everything that I can out of it, and I believe that I did. I ended up becoming a trainer in terms of basketball, in terms of getting people in shape, and I've touched a lot. I hate saying that pause, no homo shit. Like, can we just be men and be like passionate, and men can be affectionate, men can be like show emotion and shit. Like, so anyways, man. But the point I'm making is, I believe I went as far as I can go, and I believe I've inspired, the basketball players, the Taj Gibsons, the James Hardens of the world, the Russell Westbrooks, the Jonathan Gibsons, and the list goes on and on. I've worked with a lot of those guys, Brandon Jennings, when they were in high school, and on some level, I hope that I inspired them, And the reason why I know I've inspired them is because of how I guarded Baron Davis. You guys get that connection? If I hadn't guarded Baron Davis, I wouldn't know who I was as a real person, and as far as I can take my ability in terms of basketball. You understand? And I think Shawn Porter needs to accept who he is. Kenny Porter has to accept who he is. People will say, I'm not coaching the guy. I'm just looking at it from 50,000 feet. I told myself yesterday, I was in the car talking to L, and I said, I got to stop that Kenny Porter shit. I got to just relinquish that shit, because you carry that energy, right? And when you carry that energy, it takes you to a place where you don't want to. I'm gonna call Kenny at some point and be like, just squash the bullshit, because you gotta be better men. And Nipsey Hussle said in the song Perfect 10, he says, we got to change how we respond, how we respond to disrespect. And Kenny Porter knows what he did. He knows what he did was very disrespectful. But I have to be the bigger man and say, you know what, it's okay. At the end of the day, it is what it is. You know what I mean? You don't sign my checks, I don't sign yours, and the list goes on and on. So at some point we'll get there. But in the meantime, in between time, that video was not about being disrespectful towards Kenny Porter. I was actually, keep it real, Shawn Porter needs to watch this video. Someone send this video to Shawn Porter, those 2 videos, and he's gonna be like, you know what, Fred, makes perfect sense. Maybe not him. Maybe he thinks Kenny can't coach him every second. If Kenny's gonna coach him every second and make these mid-round adjustments and yell him out Earl Spence gonna beat the shit out. Because imagine I'm listening to my dad. I see it, but if I do it, my dad's gonna say don't do it like this, or my trainer's gonna say don't do it like this. It's not about that. You understand? So anyways, man, barbershop, 20 minutes is long enough for this video. September 28th is going up, is going down. And learn from me, all right? Learn from me. Because in terms of, I hit on so much in this fucking video. So go rewind it and watch it. About relearning the truth, right? Deontay Wilder's special. He's a freak of nature. But me, nah, you got to throw the jab. Then you got to throw the right hand. Then you got to throw the left hook. You understand? So at the end of the day, I think we need to understand this. And Shawn Porter, your hand is too low when you throw your jab. Remember, Errol Spence is taller than you. He's coming down. So you gotta keep it here. I'm not. Yeah, guys, say, Frey, you do it. No, I'm serious. Because Shawn is shooting up his jab, and if he throws it down, Shawn's not gonna have enough time to get there because Errol Spence is shooting down. You have more velocity on your punch when you, as opposed to, anyways, man, yada. Anyways, man. So I said all that to say I had to learn about what's his name? Deontay Wilder. I had to learn. Same thing I had to learn. Derek James will tell you. Matter of fact, fight week, I'm a rehash that, and I'm gonna tell Derek James to tell y'all about how much how I was on the fence about how good Errol Spence was. My boy Tyron Brown, you say, man, Errol Spence is the shit. Deontay Wilder is the shit. I'm serious. Tyron Brown and I worked out at 24 Hour Fitness all the time. You know what I mean? Dante's Boxing Nation used to tell me, Deontay Wilder and Errol Spence is the shit. Y'all need to look out for them. For real. I say, really? Really? But he does it in a different way. Remember, I've been following Deontay Wilder since he was doing 4-rounders at these motherfucking casinos and StubHub Center here in LA. And we talked about it yesterday. You guys gonna love this interview, dog. When I say you're gonna love it, you're gonna fucking love it, man. It was just two black men talking, being honest with one another. It's fucking amazing. It's fucking beautiful. I'm gonna upload it when I get back charging this car. But anyways, man, barbershop conversations, man. Oh, and I said, and then the level up, learning about Errol Spence, learning about Shawn Porter, knowing who I am as a basketball player, and listening to Nipsey Hussle in Perfect 10. He says we got to change how we respond to being disrespected. And keep it real. Kenny Porter, from a man's perspective, did some hellacious shit, right? Now it's how do you respond to this? And I'm talking about this because I have to get better at this. Because for those of you who don't know, I believe in 48 laws of power to the T, to the T. Kenny Porter knows this. My friends know this. I go for the juggernaut. And at the end of the day, who wins in terms of me responding to the disrespect? And I'm being open and candidly honest with y'all about this is because we all can grow and learn from this, right? It's too easy for me to say, Kenny, let's square up and fight. That's the low-hanging fruit, right? The God in us should say, I should call Kenny, and he and I should have a conversation. Say, Kenny, this shit was fucking wrong. You're an asshole for this. Yada yada yada. And he say, Fred, you was an asshole for this. And then we can go our separate ways, right? That's the God in us, right? The nigga in me is like, nah, I'm done. You done tried to take money out of my pocket for a whole year now. You keep on rehashing this. Or from his eyes, I keep on rehashing. But at the end of the day, Nipsey Hussle says in Perfect 10, we got to change the way we respond to disrespect. And I heard it in the song yesterday, but I mean up until yesterday, but it never really registered. And then when Chris Van Heerden, he said that he forgave the man who killed his father. Shit. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. Yesterday, Lincoln had his first soccer game yesterday, and there's hundreds of people on the field, hundreds of kids, hundreds of parents. I'm very, very excited, right? I'm very, very excited. I'm in my moment, right? And then reality hit me. I says, how can we protect these kids? Somebody got to come with that thing. And I'm thinking next week, I need to come with something, because how about if a mass murderer comes onto this field and does what he thinks is, and then no one is armed. No one is protecting these kids. That's what I was thinking. I mean, I'm excited. I'm this, I'm that, I'm exuberant. But if a motherfucker come there with 2 banana clips and spray the whole yard, who's going to be there to protect these kids? How are we going to protect these kids, man? And it's sad that I got to think that way. You understand what I'm saying? And I think it's incredibly important that we understand this. We understand. How do you respond to disrespect? Listen, I done beat the gamut already. I have extracted myself from having a boss. I have a level of freedom that I didn't think, I couldn't fathom this. You know what I mean? I didn't see, when you're young, you just want the money, right? I didn't understand that owning my time is more important than the money. And I had to learn all of this shit. I had to relearn all. I use the word relearn a lot in this video. We all can learn, okay? And I know some of you guys, Fred, you're very level-headed, you're this, but there is some shit that I you know what I mean? And we'll get there. So I'm getting better, and we gonna work through this for real, for real. I'm gonna be a man. I'm gonna call Kenny, and we gonna squash this shit. And if we gotta fight to finish the deal, we'll fight to finish the deal. Or if we take a conversation, we do it but Nipsey Hussle said, for real, for real. You got to change the way we respond to disrespect. And why was Nipsey Hussle murdered and or assassinated? Because a man couldn't handle, according to him, being disrespected. You understand what I'm saying? So anyways, man, I just thought that that I use myself as, because I know when it's good. I love to use myself as example when it's good. When I'm saying, hey, I'm you guys know my finances. You guys knows what I do. So I always got to, and I also got to use myself as an example when I'm not right. Point blank and simple. And yeah, I could have handled it a different way, but I didn't want to. I really didn't. So anyways, man, we all grow. Listening to Deontay Wilder talk yesterday, and I'm sitting there, I was thinking, I was like, damn, nigga, I can be a better person. I can be a better person. Because Deontay Wilder could have held that against me when I was like, hold up, this nigga he don't fight the way Bermain Stavern fight. He don't fight the way an Anthony Joshua fight. He don't fight the way Larry Holmes fought. You know what I mean? But he said, you were a hater, Fred. I just had to learn. I just wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to understand that watching Deontay Wilder is greatness. Y'all gonna love that interview, dog. Y'all gonna love that interview, and you're gonna see the candor. You're gonna see the openness and the honesty. That's why, another reason too, this long ass video, why y'all niggas gotta love one another and trust one another. Because there's no way Deontay Wilder can have that conversation with old media. He can't. He can't. So at the end of the day, something great is going to become from this. I'm just being real. I'm being honest. And barbershop conversations, man. Feel free, hit the subscribe button. Y'all have, it's Sunday too. Hallelujah. Barbershop conversations. I'm gonna finish watching some YouTube videos and shit. Because I was talking to Deontay. I didn't even get a chance to watch everyone's videos. from the Tyson Fury recap and all that shit. So I'm going to do that now. So Barbershop Conversations, man. Feel free, hit the subscribe button. And I'll talk to you guys soon. We're always a work in progress. We always can be better at something. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.